July 23, 2025 mark that date. It's when the U.S. took a dramatic turn on AI, rolling out Trump's AI action plan. 90 federal actions, 3 pillars, and an unmistakable shift from Biden's regulatory roadblocks to a hyper-pro-growth, pro-industry playbook. But what does that really mean? Imagine a blueprint that's both a turbocharger for innovation and a political manifesto. That's what we're diving into today. So, as you listen, ask yourself, is this the dawn of American AI supremacy, or a risky roll of the dice? Let's start with the first pillar, accelerating innovation. The plan rips out the old Biden-era guardrails, those rules on diversity, equity, inclusion, and climate. Gone. In their place, open-source advocacy and a mandate to contract only with developers whose models are, quote, free from ideological bias. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't that sound a little politicized? You're not alone. But here's the kicker: by clearing regulatory hurdles, the administration claims we'll see a surge in large language models and next-gen neural architectures flooding the market in months, not years. Will speed come at the cost of safety? That's the tension. Open source AI, think of it as the Linux moment for machine learning. The plan's push to encourage open-weight models aims to democratize access, letting startups and universities build on cutting-edge tech without corporate gatekeepers. But hang on, open sourcing isn't just about freedom, it's also about risk. When anyone can tinker with reinforcement learning algorithms, you get innovation but also the potential for misuse. Remember the 2024 incident where an open-source vision model was repurposed for deepfake scams? The question is, can the benefits of open collaboration outweigh the security headaches? Now, let's talk about procurement. A new clause says federal contracts only go to AI developers whose models are free from ideological bias. On paper, it sounds like a safeguard for neutrality. But in practice, who decides what counts as bias? Critics call it a political filtero way to sideline certain perspectives or research. Imagine you're building a natural language processing tool for disaster response, but your model gets flagged for bias because it reflects nuanced social realities. Does this encourage innovation or stifle it? The debate is raging. AI isn't just about code and compute, it's about people. The plan launches new training pipelines not just for computer scientists, but for electricians, HVAC techs, and AI infrastructure specialists. Why? Because every supercomputer needs a small army to keep it running. If you're picturing AI as a cloud floating above us, think again. It's grounded in data centers cooled by industrial chillers, powered by advanced semiconductors. This workforce pivot could mean hundreds of thousands of new jobs, but can we scale up fast enough to keep pace with the tech? Let's move to infrastructure where rubber meets road. The plan proposes fast-tracking permits for AI supercomputing hubs, and here's the twist. Fossil fuels and nuclear power are back in vogue to meet the demand. You might ask, what about climate? The administration's betting that data center build-out and a resilient energy grid will fuel a quantum leap in AI capacity. But with $500 billion earmarked for the so-called Stargate project, critics warn of sky-high energy consumption and environmental trade-offs. Is this a necessary risk for digital dominance, or a tech-fueled climate gamble? Semiconductors, the silicon heart of AI. The plan removes extraneous policy requirements from the CHIPS Act, making it easier for fabs to break ground. Think of it as clearing the runway for a new fleet of logic gates and memory arrays. But here's the setup. Rapid expansion means more chips, but also more resource strain and geopolitical jockeying, especially as the U.S. tries to wrestle supply chains away from Asia. The conflict? Speed versus sustainability, autonomy versus global cooperation. The resolution? That's still being written. Security is not an afterthought, it's front and center. The plan invests in secure-by-design systems and federal incident response teams. Picture a world where every generative transformer comes with tamper-proof audit logs, kind of like a flight recorder for algorithms. But let's be real, cyber threats are evolving as fast as the tech itself. Can federal teams, no matter how well trained, keep up with adversarial machine learning attacks and zero-day exploits? The challenge is designing AI with both resilience and transparency from day one. On the world stage, the U.S. is going all in on AI exports, a full-stack strategy. Hardware, models, software. The plan's about locking allies into American ecosystems, a counterweight to China's advances. But you might wonder, does this export-led approach risk fragmenting global standards? Remember, in the 20th century, the U.S. set the protocols for the Internet. Now, it's a race to set the rules for AI. The stakes? Who owns the operating system of the future and whose values shape it? AI is the new battleground, and the plan frames it as a tech Cold War with China. Export controls tighten, the U.S. aims to dominate global AI standards bodies, and national security integration puts AI into defense and intelligence everywhere. But is this escalation or necessary deterrence? If allies rally, the U.S. might lead the global stack. If not, tech nationalism could fracture the ecosystem. So, is it smart strategy or the start of a new digital arms race? The world's watching, and so should we. No plan this bold comes without backlash. The ideological bias clause? Accused of politicizing tech. Environmental deregulation? Climate advocates warn of irreversible harm? Federal preemption? States claim their autonomy is at risk if they set their own rules. If you are wondering who decides the balance between innovation and ethics, that's the central conflict. The resolution will shape not just AI, but the fabric of American governance. Let me tell you a story every generation has its rallying cry. For Trump's team, it's a triple revolution: industrial, informational, and artistic. The plan's anti-woke messaging pushes free speech as a core value, echoing Silicon Valley's permissionless innovation. But, as always, there's a flip side. Does this unleash ingenuity, or open the door to unchecked risk? And as the culture wars spill into tech policy, can we still build a shared vision for AI that includes everyone? So, where does this leave us? Trump's AI action plan is a high-stakes gamble betting on deregulation, infrastructure, and ideological clarity to secure global dominance. The upside? Unleashed innovation, tech leadership, and new jobs. The risks? Regulatory fragmentation, environmental fallout, and a politicized AI landscape. As we stand on the brink of this new era, the question I'll leave you with is this: can America write the rules for AI, and if so, at what cost? The next chapter is being written right now, and you're part of the story.